I'm popping. I'm pop locking. I'm ready to rock and roll. Woo! What's going on, Apprentice? What's going on, my man? What's up, party people? All right now. Oh, I keep saying Google my business. It's Google business profile. I keep putting the wrong thing. Ah, just started my live on YouTube. All right. So what's up, people? All right. What's going on, party people? What's going on? What's going on with you? Hit the like button. I hope this thing is sending a notification out. All right, it did. All right. So I know I'm getting on a little late, 9:20s in the evenings, and all of that. So, okay, bud. Oh, okay. So, what's up? What's going on, man? Caprinis, how you been doing, buddy? I've been meaning. Actually, I've been meaning to call you all week, all for the last 2 weeks. I've been trying to find time to just shoot you a text, but every single time it's like, okay, I'm gonna hit my man up. Something pops, and then it's like, okay, I gotta go run do this and run do that and everything. So things have been good here. I don't even know how many I did last month. I forgot to add it all up or count it up. But this month so far has been looking pretty good. I'm just out here taking everything that I literally can take. What's today? The third. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. So between the first and the fourth, I got 13. I need to change this because this is going to get it's gotten rescheduled. They didn't have the document. So 13 in the first 4 days of the month. That's real good. That is really good. And then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 already for next week. That is excellent. That is excellent. So it's coming along. It's coming along, and man, I just been rocking and rolling as much as I possibly can. So um I'm not going to be on too long, and I don't think that many people's going to hop on here. So don't run off just because you only see a few people on the live. I wasn't expecting a whole lot of people, and everything that I was trying to do today to get set up and to promote it just sort of got thrown out the window because my last signing of the day was supposed to happen, then it didn't happen, then it was going to happen. So I've been back and forth in somewhat of a limbo. Um, been somewhat in limbo today, and I couldn't really get everything out like I wanted to, and I didn't have time to do my graphics or none of that kind of stuff. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna just hop on. I'm not gonna not do Fritter Friday, but I'm gonna just hop on, get my microphone straight, and talk about this. And if you saw my video from earlier today, um, I was talking about making at least $85,000 doing this business, and there was some statistics that I had wanted to pull up and all of that, and I just didn't get around to doing it. But let's just be real. Whether you're doing loan closing, apostille, general note, you can make some good money in this business. But what's going on is that people are whining and complaining about the fees. And what you don't realize is that there are people out here in this business that have set the fees, and there are fees that are higher, but they're like, okay, here's what we're going to pay you. So now you got to figure out how you're going to work with it. And when you come in, tell me where you're coming from. I know Caprinis is in California. I'm in Virginia. So those of you who are watching, let me know where you're coming from. And when I'm looking at the reality of making money in any business, some days the individual orders can be uninspiring. Hey, what's going on, Desmond? The individual orders can be very, very uninspired. Okay, we got our Florida. Yeah, Miss Kathy, I talked to you today. Yep, I got yours. I see your you booked your one-on-one session with me. So yeah, we're gonna throw down on that next Tuesday at 9 p.m. All right, so yeah, we good to go. And then I got somebody else. Okay, a young lady named Lola on Thursday. So we are good to go. We're gonna make this bad boy happen. We're gonna make this bad boy happen. Okay, we got a whole bunch of Florida people up in here. Okay. I don't know. I would love to check. I'm from Florida. I grew up in Jacksonville, so would love to go back down there and stuff. Got some crazy family stuff down there. That's why I don't really want to go down there because I don't feel like dealing with them. But when I thought about it, I said the individual orders that we do sometimes are very, very uninspiring. Um, but when you look at the work that you're doing in its totality, it's very inspiring. Okay, what's going on? There go another Florida person, my man Greg, Mr. Politician himself. We got Belinda. Good evening, night to you. What's up, my lady? I'll tell you, Google my business. She knows it. Marketing, she knows it. I got a couple of hits this week, but didn't get selected. Even though I didn't get selected, I was happy to at least receive. Good from Texas. Okay. Estella. Histella Olden. Okay, I'm working. I'm getting better at pronouncing people's names. Always had a problem with that. All right, and then we got Miss Penny Bullock. All right, Penny, good to see you there. So what I mean is a $35 order by itself is uninspiring. Okay, it really is. A $35 order is uninspiring. Okay, so let's pull up our beautiful calculator here. So we got that calculator here. So let's just follow me, y'all. $35 order, $35 order is very uninspiring. But when you multiply that by 500, now I know the first thing everybody says is, but see the work that you got to put in for it. That's a part of life. That's a part of life. Work is a part of life. You putting in work to get any dollar amount is a part of life. Now, whether or not you want to put in as much work, that's a different story. Okay. But if I have an opportunity to get $35 500 times, that's 17,500. Am I okay with that? Are you okay with getting that? It's the question is either yes or no. Now, then you look at, okay, what do I have to do to get it? And if I don't do that level of work to get it, then what's my alternative? Because most people look at it and say, well, to print the documents, to drive here, to sit and this and that and the other, no, it's not worth it. Okay. Do you need 17,500? Well, yes, I do. Okay. So what are you going to do to get it? Ah, you know you're not going to get a $35 an hour raise from your job. You're not going to get anything from them. So it's like, what am I going to do to get it? So when you start looking at what your needs are, and you see I got this need, here's how I can get it met. Am I willing to do what it takes to get it met? That's the question. That is the question that I had to ask myself. What am I willing to do to get my need met? When we're dating people, you look at that person as a need. He's my need. I need him in my life. I don't want any other person having that young man in their life. I want him in my life. I want her in my life. You feel that you need them. I want that car. I want that house. And you make the necessary sacrifice to get it. Hold on one second. There we go. My seat was down a little too low. There we go. That feels better. You know what I'm saying? When we want something, we'll make the necessary sacrifice. With business, we're trying to make the same level of sacrifice for with our business that we did at our job. And for most of us at our jobs, it wasn't that big of a sacrifice. The only difference is you just not getting paid as much. Okay. So Belinda said, okay, from Florida. All right. Everybody from Florida rolling up in here. My man Byron out there in Virginia. And then we said having a business mindset helps understand the give and take aspect and the opportunities that we can create for ourselves as an independent contractor. And Belinda is 1,000% correct. It says, trying to know, do you recommend it? I am, and I have kids, so I'm thinking about. Okay, I will cover that. I will cover that. Do not let me not cover that. Okay, I will cover that. I will promise you, I will cover that. From Arkansas, good to see you there, Miss Penny. So when I looked at this business, well, even before just the business, I said, what is it? What is my need? My need is additional money. So that's why my lady Ladora from Mrs. Tennessee, we've been talking a lot this week. So I had a need. Then I had to figure out how to get that need met. And then once I saw that, this could help meet that need. What level of sacrifice am I willing to make? So even if you have a need, you have an opportunity to get that need fulfilled by being able to make X amount of dollars. The question is, whatever level of sacrifice and effort is needed, are you willing to do? For some people, it's all you got to do is just get up and just drive 10 miles and go to this thing and sit there for 6 hours and make the money. Some people not even willing to do that. They're just not. I'm not talking about the people who can't. I'm talking about your willingness to do. If you're not willing to do it, it don't matter how much of a cakewalk it is. You're never going to take advantage of it. You're never going to see the benefit of it. You could easily have that person, that young man or young lady, as a part of your life. All you got to do is go talk to them. But if you're too stuck up and feel that, hey, no, they need to come approach me. They need to come do this. They need to come do that. That's why sometimes relationships don't work. Why relationships don't work? Because of the requirement that you have put on it, or these walls that you have put up that prohibit the connection from happening. So here you can make 17,500 and you have an opportunity to get 35 of these over the next 6 months. And you said, well, I got to drive too far to do that. I got to get up too early to do that. So I don't want to do that. Not a problem. That's your right. Now, the question is, what are you doing to still get that money, irregardless of doubt? If somebody's willing to pay you, $40 and then, times whatever to equal up to 75, 7,000, what's that? Let me see something. Divided by 40. Oh, I'll figure it out later. Hold on. 17 divided by 40 equals. Okay, yeah, you would need 400. Yeah, yeah, 40 of them. Yeah, you need like 40. Shoo, boy, you need $400 a pop. That ain't happening. But the bottom line is, you need to figure out what level of sacrifice you're willing to make. And once I figure that out, then my decisions, me being able to decide what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it, became easier. So one of the things that I was trying to bring to people's attention was simply this. In my area, like, okay, well, first of all, my goal is 1,000 for this month. I mean, this year. I'm looking at doing 1,000 closings slash notary appointments this year. I did 993 last year. I'm trying to do 1,000 this year. Okay. Just seven more. That's it. Just seven more. Okay. That's all my goal is, just to do at least 1,000. Now, if I do more, that's great. The average fee right now in my area is really about $85. So if I do that 1,000 times, of course, that's $85,000. Okay. So now the question is 1,000 divided by 12 months. Am I willing to put forth that level of effort? Am I willing to try to do 83 of these a month? It's either yes or no. Now, if the opportunities are there, because I do have the opportunity, 83 signings a month is there. It is there. And the dollar amount is there. So now the question is, will I go do it? See, the $85 by itself does not look that good to most people. But when you add a couple of zeros to it, it looks real good. You see what I'm saying? So every time I see an $85 signing that comes through, I'm adding three zeros behind it, because that's where my mind is at. That's what I'm thinking. Every time I see a dollar amount, $35, 3,500. I mean 35,000. Every single time I see it, that's what I'm seeing. That's what I envision. But when you look at it, you just see an $85 signing. When you look at it, you're seeing all the effort that you got to do in order to do the closing. Well, I got to get up. I got to go print the documents. I got to go look through the documents. I got to do this. I got to do that. Da 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 da. But what effort are you putting in to go to work? Because ain't nobody just getting up and walking to work. Even if you're living, even if you're working from home, there's some effort that you have to put in. You really got to work even harder sometimes when you're working from home, so they don't think you're, not doing your job. You got to make sure you're constantly on the keyboard typing and doing stuff and all of that. You're constantly reporting to people, hey, I'm about to take a break. Hey, I'm back from my break. Hey, I'm going to lunch. Hey, I'm back from lunch. You're doing all of that. You got a lot that you have to do to create the proper environment so they'll know you're working, so you can get your 17.50 an hour. You know that it's no different than with your business. There's a level of effort that you have to put into it. And what I'm finding out is that a lot of people don't want to put any effort. They just want it to come. So if you are a person who's in a position that you can actually make $85,000, the question now is, why haven't you? What is it what is stopping you? And I submit to you, as the old preacher would say, I submit to you that it's the information you're hearing out here in these notary streets. You hear people saying so much negative stuff about the business that you don't see the positive. You do not see the positive whatsoever. It's that simple. You don't see it. Oh, I keep forgetting to turn that. And that's an order coming through right now for the 10th at 9 a.m. So I'm saying yes to it. I don't know if y'all can see that, but y'all know what that looks like. That yellow button there, when you hit it, that says I got it. So I just been assigned. So orders come in 9:39 at night. Okay. 9:39 at night. So you know what? I'm gonna just leave this up. So in case some more come through, I hear them. But the bottom line is, and the reason why I can just do it, because I already know what my schedule is, and I know I don't have anything going on that day at that time. Nope, I don't. My calendar is clear on that day at that time. So now I am booked for that. I will add that to my calendar. Boom. So now 9 o'clock on the 10th, I got a closing for $85. There you go, $85. Y'all can see it, $85. That's what I just picked up. All right, and it's a refinance. All right, so I got it. Boom, I'm good to go. So the bottom line is, we got to make up our mind, because I hear the same negative stuff about this business. I hear the same thing. Don't take that kind of order. Don't. You put, it's $85 more than what I had when I started this live. And this one here is coming in for the 9th. Now I do have to check my calendar real quick to make sure I'm not double booked. So this one is coming in for the 9th at 5:30 p.m. All right. And I'm going to say yes to that. I got that one. All right. I wish I could. I wish this camera, there you go. That little yellow button when you hit the back, boom. And that's them telling me, boom. So that one's in Norfolk. That's for the 9th. All right. Here's my count. That's for the 9th. I already got booked for those two. The 9th at 5 p.m. This one at 5:30 on the 9th. That one's for 5:30 on the 9th. Okay. So that's what I just got. So boom. Oh, I got two phones. There it is. Boom. So now I'm booked. 5:30 on the 9th. All right. Orders are coming in. 9:41. So now you tell me, why should I not take it? That's the question. See, y'all don't realize somebody's trying to get y'all to see that you need to stop listening to these folk out here telling you, don't take this order, don't take that order. I understand all of the complexities that are going down with these closings, with these signing companies, with these title companies, all of that. It says the more active you stay with responsive, you'll reach your goal. Consistency is the key. That is correct. I am certified and VA, but do not know how to get started. First thing I would like for you to do, young lady, you're certified and you say you're in VA. In the description, you can book a 30-minute call for me for $10. Okay. And I will chop it up with you Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. I am completely, I'm available on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays to talk. The information is in the description. You'll see the same link for the notary certificate training is the same link that you can book the Q A, and then I can help you out and tell you everything you need to know. We'll sit there for 30 minutes or more, however long it takes, and I will get you all the answers and show you what you need to know across the board. Okay. Look at the reviews on there. Matter of fact, let me pull that up real quick. And I ain't forgot your question about the Ron. So I did not forget. I did not forget, young lady. So when you go to this site here and it's right there, and you can see the reviews. I really enjoyed Griff's class and learned a lot. We'll be doing more with him. Wish I had connected with him when I started in this business. The notary certificate training was a great class and extremely helpful. Very informative, very helpful. I feel much more comfortable starting my notary work. He helped me get over some of my fears, and got me looking at notarizing from a different lens. I will schedule another one-on-one. Great class. We'll take it again. Griff for press. That's all. That's really all I have to say. Wouldn't have gotten this far at this pace without Griff, period. And here's another example why. Griff is an invaluable source of information, motivation, and guidance throughout the notary community. He brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise about entrepreneurship and the notarial and loan signing fields. I have watched countless hours of his YouTube videos where he selfishly shares the highs and lows and how-tos of running a successful notary business. I recently had the pleasure of sharing a one-on-one Zoom session with Griff. It was priceless. His patience, passion, and wisdom are unmatched. As someone who is just starting my notary business, I felt stuck and unsure of what my next steps would be. Griff listened attentively to my questions and concerns. Thanks to his guidance and encouragement, I left the consultation feeling motivated, excited, and prepared to reach my notary goals. If you are looking for someone to help you perfect your notary or business skills, I strongly recommend Griff. You will not be disappointed. Okay. Oops, my bad. My bad. It was blocking it. So the link that you see in the description for the notary certificate class is the same link for this here. And you go here and then you can just book either a one-on-one phone call or a one-on-one Zoom. If you feel you need to be shown some things or examples of something or whatever, get the Zoom and we'll sit here and talk, and I'll share my screen and whatever. And then this is the notary certificate training. But I do the one-on-one Zooms, you know, every Wednesdays. I have it set to where, people are able to book. Which I think I'm gonna need to open that up so people can book me out much further. I will. I'll do that later this evening. All right. So let's get back to the topic at hand. So hopefully that helped you out. So I'm looking forward to kicking it with you and everything. Yes, please book a one-on-one, and I promise you, I will get you taken care of. I will make sure you are where you need to be. And it says I started in this April. I would do 10/20. I'm not sure what that means. Um, and 60 and not 6/8. Nah, I'm not following. Old age kicking in, so I'm missing it. I'm missing it. So let me go back and answer this young lady's question about Ron. Let me pull it up. Here it is. Oh, young man's question about Ron. Yes, I'm an electronic notary. I do electronic notarizations. Do I recommend it? I recommend being in a position to do it if your state allows it. Okay. You're a notary, you got kids, so you're looking at, so you're thinking it could be a good option. And it can be a good option depending on the companies you can connect with. Now, the signing companies through Signing Order, SnapDocs, all of those, which I just remembered somebody on SnapDocs was asking me to put my my Ron credentials in, and I'll go back and do it. They tend not to pay as a whole lot. If you can get direct with the title company or some entity to do Ron work, then you can make a lot more. You can make $100 a pop, 175, 200, 300, whatever you can negotiate with them. You just got to make sure you can do it correctly. Now, when it comes to doing Ron, the platform matters. Okay, I got water. The platform matters. And the reason why is because you have to understand, and I don't fully quite get it. I'll be honest with you, I don't, but you got to understand the fees that you have to pay to them for using the platform. Whether you're paying a monthly fee and you got unlimited use of the platform, or you pay per session that you do, and then you got these little small ancillary fees that can eat into your profit, you have to find out and say, okay, what is it that you're looking to get? So if you're doing a closing, a real estate closing, and you say, I want to charge them 300, okay, no problem. The question is, out of that 300, how much you got to give to the notary platform for the use of their platform for that session? What fees are charged if you go more than 30 minutes? Because some companies charge you extra if the session takes more than 30 minutes. They charge you for witnesses. They charge you for more than 2 signers. There's all these little fees. They charge you sometimes for every time you stamp the document. So if there's 8 notarizations in there and they're charging you $15, 15 times 8, that's $120. You see what I'm saying? So these are the things you got to find out from the platform that you plan on using. I know you got Blue Notary, and that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. If anybody knows any other ones, feel free to throw them in there. I'm not endorsing any of them. Matter of fact, I just um, signed up with Blue Notary to test them out as a backup. Okay, as a backup for people for the biometric, because I think Blue Notary does biometrics. So I'm gonna start looking into that. I just signed up with them on that like a week ago. Okay. I'm on a system called Expedite. I've been trying to get information on how people can get into that. I'm still trying because I'm grandfathered into it because it used to be another system and then they switched over. Right now, all I'm paying is $15 per session, irregardless of how much time I'm on there, irregardless of how many stamps. $15. Matter of fact, tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm gonna pay them $60 for the 2 sessions that I did. I typically charge 175 for my Ron closings. I don't do a whole lot. Secure signings is one of them. That's right. Thank you, ladies. Secure signings. I forgot about them. And Notary Geek. That's right. Greg's Notary Geek. So, and if y'all know the website addresses to those, feel free to throw them in the chat. Okay. Feel free to throw them in there. Um, I'm the type, once I find something that works, I just stick with it. And I'm not one of those ones that's like, I want to be on 15 different RON platforms. Especially if I got to pay a monthly fee for each one. Nah. So I'm used to what I'm doing. Now, how often do I do it? I'm not doing that many because my client base, they're not asking me to do a whole lot. Maybe 5 a month. And then there are times where I go 2 or 3 months where they have none. Now, granted, I'm not out there actively marketing. And when somebody calls me up and say, "Hey, I do it Ron," I'm not doing that. And I know some people, if somebody calls you for a Ron power of attorney or Ron whatever, I mean, for not Ron, but just for a power of attorney or just for some type of notarization, I know that most people say, "Oh, just tell them you'll do it online." I'm not there yet, personally. I really am not. I'm not there. To try to do everything. And the reason why is because of the fact that I'm doing 5 to 7 closings per day. So I really don't have time to stop what I'm doing, get on the computer, and even if it's on the cell phone, out and I can do it from my cell phone or my tablets and my tablets downstairs. I can do it from my tablet or whatever. But for me to stop what I'm doing, get the session set up, I don't feel like doing all of that. Now, if I was home all day, yes. But I'm out ripping and running, and then somebody says, "Hey, dot dot dot." Now I got to stop, get you to send me the document, review the document. Okay, everything's cool with the document. Now I got to upload it, this, that, and the other. Um, I've never been told to have higher E&O insurance for Ron. Matter of fact, none of my direct clients have ever asked me about my E&O insurance. Now I have by Burke $1 million policy, and I even have the business owner policy that has the cybersecurity stuff to it. But I've never been asked or told that I have to have a certain dollar amount. Now, those individual companies, they say the Notary Geeks, your Blue Notary, your Secure Signing, Proof, they may tell you that, and if that's their policy, then hey, I understand it. But I've never been told by any of the clients that I use or even the platform that I'm on, Expedite, that I need to have additional E&O insurance. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. What I'm saying is I've never been told that. But if that's their policy for whatever reason, then understandable. However, There are people out here who then tell you, oh, you don't need to have a high amount of E&O insurance because if you have a high amount, then you open yourself up to getting sued. Well, now you got to decide, do I listen to a TMC, train them into a coach who's telling me only get the bare minimum, or do I listen to the person who has a job opportunity for me and that's willing to pay me a good fee for doing it if I get a higher amount of E&O insurance? Which one you think will be best to do? Follow the money, okay? Because what the TMC is telling me is restricting my ability to make money. That's where the problem comes in at. So, so I do Ron. If stuff comes up, okay, cool. Now I'll be honest right now, I don't have the bandwidth to do any Ron for most signing companies at all. I just don't have the bandwidth to do it at all. And then Latanya, she's here in Virginia. She says she's never heard to have higher E&O insurance for Ron. I will say prior to Kathy saying it, I have heard someone mention that, and I think it was in a clubhouse. But I never did get to circle back around and ask them to elaborate on that. I don't, and I'm just assuming that it's coming from the individual platforms to quote unquote protect themselves because they've been burnt. So if those people have been burnt where the notary made a mistake and the notary E&O insurance was not enough to cover it, I can understand why they're saying it. But I've never heard, and I've been around for at least 7 years. I've never heard six, at least six. I've never heard that from anybody whatsoever at all. I've never heard anybody say I need to definitively had. I heard somebody mention it, and then I heard you, but outside of that, I've never heard of that. And I get it, but we have to still ask the questions. So so I do Ron whenever I can, but I'm not pressed to do it. I do understand a lot of young ladies would like to do that because they are at home and they want to keep an eye on their kids and things of that nature. I get it. It's nothing wrong with that. But just understand somebody has to want that particular type of notarization done. So if there's no one looking for it to be done, it's going to be hard for you. So you got to have somebody who wants their document who's willing to do an electronic notarization. But the more important part is the receiver, the end recipient of that document. They have to be willing to accept it. If the title company is like, no, we don't accept e-notarized documents. If the lender say we don't accept e-notarized documents, if the courthouse where it's going to, we don't. And that happened to me. The young lady called me up. She said, yeah, I need this done, that, and the other. I did it via Ron. I asked her, say, you sure they accept it? Oh, yeah, they accept it. I think she believed they would accept it. We got it done correctly. And she went in there and they said, no, we don't accept this. And what made it tough was that she was in one state and the other sign, I can't remember what the relationship was. That's why I paused. Whatever relationship he was to her, I can't remember at all. To be honest with you, I'm like, I don't know what. I just know he needed to sign it, and so the only way that was going to get done was, and I think the requirement that they both had to have their signatures and notarization on the same document. That meant she would have to do it in her state, ship it to him. He gets it done in his state, and then sends it back to her. Then she takes it to the court. I assume that's what she ended up doing. I don't know. So just keep that in mind. And the same thing goes, how many are you willing to do? What sacrifice are you willing to make? Are you willing to do Ron at early in the morning, late at night? I've done them at 2 in the morning. I've done them at 5 in the morning. I've done them at 10 in the afternoon. I've done them. So you got to be willing to do it whatever time the person, especially if you're dealing with somebody that's on a different time zone. And I'm not just talking about US time zone. I'm talking about overseas time zone. You know, they're overseas, they're 12 hours ahead, they're 6 hours behind. You know, they're in Hawaii, they're in Bahrain, whatever the case may be. You got to be willing to deal with that and stay up and not fall asleep on the keyboard. All right. So back to the big question, making $85,000. Okay, let's go back over that again. So you want to make $85,000. You're in an area that you consistently see $85 notary signings come through on average. We saw two of them come through tonight. And then if you have a goal, let's just, a goal of, we'll just go with times 80 of those per month. Can that be a benefit and a blessing to you? Yes, we understand expenses and all of that kind of stuff that you have. We get that. We get that. Okay. That's a part of business. But if you manage your money right, if you don't bust out here trying to have Gucci notary shirts with gold embroidered logos on them, if you're not overspending on your website development and things of that nature, and in some cases, you may not even need a website. If you're not running around with specialized pens and pencils and stuff, and cell phone cases that got your stuff, and billboards and all that, just start off slow and just start off just making money. That $6,800 can do some great things for you. It really can. It can do some great things for you. That's the question you have to ask yourself. So you got that times 12, 81,000. That's just, that's coming off of the 83. So 80 some $1,000. So that's how you make the money, by being able and being in a position to do it. If you're not in a position to do those number of orders, then you can't make the money. Even if the orders are coming in for 150, 175. Now the question is, how can you be available to do those orders? So let's look at the numbers. All right. So the numbers will simply be this here. You want to make 85,000. Oops. 85,000 divided by $150. That's 566 for the year. Okay. Divided by 12. That's 47. So that means 47 orders per month at 150. The question is, do you see 150 coming in? I mean, do you see 100? Yeah. Do you see the $150 orders coming in, and do you see 47 of them? If you do, then you probably got a shot at it. But in order for you to get 47, you're going to need at least double that. Okay. So if you got 47 times 3, you're going to need at least 140 orders coming through your area per month at $150, because it's a numbers game. You can't say, because remember, you got other notaries out there. So them other notaries going to beat you to some of those orders, or you're already booked and you can't take anymore. So now you got to be like, okay, man. And to be honest, what I really think, you probably need 7 times. You need about 300 coming through per month at 150. Okay. So 150 times the 329, that's $49,000 worth of work coming through. And all you're trying to do is get the 6,800. Let's round it up to 7 grand. So you're trying to get 7 grand off of that. Okay. So 7 grand. So that means 7 notaries is eating up all of that work. You just want to be one notary to get some of it. It's possible. It's possible. Okay. It is truly possible. But the question is, what is actually happening in your area? That's with general notary. That's with apostille. That's with anything. You actually got to sit down and look and see what's the flow of business. Once you understand the flow, then you're like, okay, now I can better prepare and budget. But if you don't understand the flow, And if all you're doing is just looking for the 150 and you're ignoring everything else, you're probably never going to hit your financial goals. I don't see how you can when you're saying my eyes is only fixated on the 150. I I'm not even when it comes, I see anything less than 150, I just ignore it. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not even going to, I ignore it because it's beneath me. I'm be honest with you. I've yet to come across any notary, public or private, to articulate to me that they definitively get 150 per order each and every time. There's no average. It's 150. I have not run across anybody. I've run across a lot of people who say they want that, but I have not run across anybody says, "Oh, here's proof that I get it." I have not run across anybody. Nobody is out there doing that. It's a combination of it all because there's no guarantee. You can't guarantee that each and every single company out there wants to pay you 150 a pop. They want to pay you a dollar amount that they have already slated, and either you accept it or you reject it. Any thoughts on this? Any thoughts? Is this making sense? Honestly, tell me, is this making sense? Because if it's not, then we got to relook at something. To me, it makes sense that if I look at what's out there and I'm willing to work with what's available, it doesn't mean that I'm stuck here at 85 for the rest of my life. It can increase, but I got to start somewhere because my ultimate goal isn't running around saying that I get 150 a pop. My ultimate goal is that I actually am making money to take care of my financial responsibilities. So if that's the ultimate goal, then can I at least do that at the dollar amount and the opportunity that's presented? Once I can get that done consistently, now I can expand and grow from that. It may take 1 month, it may take 5 months. You see what I'm saying? It's We don't know, but you got to start somewhere. It's no different than you doing you're working at a restaurant as a bus person. You're washing the dishes, you're picking it up, you're cleaning, and then you become a waiter, and then you become the maitre d, and then you become the general manager. Why are we so afraid of progression in the notary business? Why do we just want to get into the notary business and start at the top? Why are you so afraid? I mean, somebody to answer me this. Why are you afraid? Even if you're watching this on the replay, why are you afraid to go through the progression and build up and build your business up? Why is it so important that as a notary, you have to be at the top from day one? And why are so many trainers out there telling you, oh, you can be at the top, when in life, nobody starts at the top? You're telling your children you can't start at the top. You're telling that special someone in your life that just because we went out on a date don't mean I'm going to be saying good morning to you. Just because we went out and you bought me some food, just because we went out and you took me dancing, doesn't mean that I'm going to be saying good morning to you tomorrow. No, we got to build on this. There's a progression. And like you said, you're right. You're right. They feel entitled. But what causes the entitled feeling? Money. And it's not money made, it's money spent. When you overspend on something that you realize is worthless, you got to do something to make yourself feel like, okay, I'm getting my money's worth. So you go out here and you demand to be paid a certain dollar amount in order to get back what you lost. My wife was doing, she owns a cosmetology school and salon. She was doing a person's hair, and the person told her, hey, yeah, the people at this place, they're paying $4,000 a month in rent, almost double what my wife is paying. And they're charging $300 to do hair and not even doing a great job on it. Why are they charging 300? Because they actually got the skill set and they know how to do it? No, because they got bills to pay and they overspent. See, when you overspend to be a part of something, you are instantly into, I need to get my money back. I need my return on my investment. And to be honest, when you get scammed, it's not even an investment. So if you've gotten hoodwinked into doing something, that's not an investment. You were scammed. You didn't spend your money wisely. Don't call your lack of spending money wisely an investment. It was not an investment. I'm just telling you right now. It was not an investment. I'm trying to pull something up here for y'all. Something I wanted to play for y'all real quick. One of my favorite, Dr. Gregory Frazier. Here it is. All right. So just take a listen to this, y'all.
Build with them, don't chill with them. And stay away from still people. Still complaining, still broke, still hating, and still going nowhere. Stay away from people who are still. Now, bottom line, and this is basically what we're going to be talking about for the rest of the week, which is business and building wealth. But business is about relationships. Without relationships, you have no business. Without relationships, you have no business being in business. In fact, the business you're really in, brothers and sisters, kings and queens, is the business of building relationships. That's the business that you are really in. If you can't build.
So you see that you're in the business of building relationships, building relationships, and you can't build relationships if you're not out here working with people, out here doing the jobs. If you're not doing the work, how can you build a relationship? If you're not visiting the person who you're calling yourself dating, or in my old school way of saying courting, how can you build a relationship if you're not spending time in the thing that you're doing? Just because you started a business for forming an LLC or a sole proprietor and you have a bank account, you're not building a relationship with anybody. You are only looking at, I will build a business, I will build a relationship with you at 150. They're like, well, we can't pay you 150, but we got 85. Well, I don't want to have nothing to do with you. You're just turning down relationship opportunities. I have relationship opportunities, and a lot of them are at $85. And those $85 add up to the point of paying my bills. So I can't get upset with anything because I'm like, I'm happy with what I got going on because I see the positive of it. And I'm not dealing with people who are still whining about what dollar amounts they get, still worrying about calling themselves some kind of title that's not even legit, still worrying about doing closings in a manner in which it is not even legal, still worrying about who's making this money, who's making that money, and trying to call out a whole bunch of entities that have nothing to do with what I need to do. And I'm not dealing with people who are still stirring the pot with no plan of true reconciliation, of true fixing it. They're just stirring the pot. I'm not dealing with people who still aren't working in the part of the industry that I'm working with. Why am I listening to somebody who is not even willing to do loan closings? That's like me. I don't do apostilles. So for me to hop into the apostille realm and start fussing about what's going on with apostilles, and I don't even do them, Why should you listen to me? It don't matter what I'm doing in the loan closing realm. In the realm in which I'm trying to guide you in, I have no I have no foundation. And even if I did it a little bit once before, am I doing it now? This is what we talk about all the time in life. Well, yeah, you did, but you don't do it anymore. You used to be married, but you ain't married no more. What happens in the church? Come on us, come on. Y'all know this here is true. The moment a person gets married in the church, they do what? They kick them out the singles ministry. You in the you in the singles ministry, in some cases for decades. From the time you turn 18 and now you 48, you've been in a daggone singles ministry for 30 years. And the moment you get married, well, you ho. You can't come in here no more. But no, I got What's the name of the guy? His name is Dr. Gregory C. Frazier. Dr. Gregory C. Frazier. Dr. Gregory C. Frazier. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, when you become a single, when you get married, when you are married and no longer, when you get a divorce, before you go to the singles ministry, they send you over to the divorce people group, so you can work on yourself, so that you don't take all that mess that you was in that you brought from your marriage, all that crud from your marriage, over into the singles ministry stuff, and then mess their life up. Come on, somebody. So how can you guide somebody in something that you're angry about and you don't like? And it's not that you're not speaking the truth about it, but there's a way to go about getting it fixed. And attacking billion-dollar companies with no real plan, with no real legal team. Come on, let's use some common sense. We got to get out of the emotions of trying to set people straight, and let's go into some facts and have the proper team around us to be able to address those concerns and issues. But as I always say, the number one way to get somebody to listen to you is be the best at doing your job. When you are the best at doing your job, now people, okay, well, let me hear what you got to say. Because we know you don't mess up. You do your stuff right every single day. But in your W 2, every single day, when Earl James comes up and starts trying to tell everybody, hey, y'all need to get to work on time. You late every day. You late right now. Any person who tries to fix somebody else, or call somebody else out about their indiscretions, about their improprietaries, y'all know what I'm trying to say. The first thing, what do you got going on? You have to be above reproach. That's a standard. And if you got some mess going on with you, and if you're not above reproach and you got some dirt going on with you and you're trying to call them out, then you better have a good legal team to help articulate that for you and to help bring attention to the facts instead of bringing it on you and your mess. In other words, it's called what? Credible witness. See, you got to be a credible witness in this business if you're going to try to run up on somebody. And some of us ain't credible. We talk a good game, but we're not really credible. And you got to be careful about following people who really aren't credible. What's your motivation? See, that's the question that I would want to ask anybody. What is your motivation for launching this attack? I know I might be going off a little on the side here, but I'm just being real. There's some things that I want to address in this notary business, but I know I don't have the proper legal team behind me. I don't have the funding behind me. So I have to figure out how to work in the system that's out there. Oh, I recognize the impropriety. I recognize the messed up stuff. Oh yeah, this is all jacked up. But what do I need to do to make money? And that's what I'm doing. So You can make the money you need to make in this business or any business, but you got to be willing to block out the distractions. Anybody whining and complaining about what's going on in the business, constantly pointing out the negative without any positive outcome. It's like, okay, well, how do we fix this? What is the plan to fix it? We can see that this here is wrong and that's wrong. We can see that documents come late. So, what is the plan to get the title companies to get the documents on time? Maybe we have a conversation with the title company and say, hey, Mr. or Miss Title Company, why are your documents always late? Is there anything that we can do to help you? Which technically there's nothing the notary can do. And they may come back and say, well, look, we would have it done, but the signers, we get signers who don't respond to our emails. We get the clerk's office who doesn't send us the numbers back on time. So there's all these factors as to why documents are late. But then we're getting out here, we're running around with our little tiki toy. Woo, we're gonna get you, title company. You and they got a whole plethora of issues going on that they're trying to resolve. And you're sitting up here fussing because you want $15 more. And then when they do get the documents on time, you don't do them right. You don't do your job right when they do get you the documents on time. When they get you the documents on time, you call them up and say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do the order. And the reason why, because somebody paid you $15 more. So now you're willing to leave them hanging. Come on, people. And then you get in there, and then the first thing you do is point out to their customer, how much money you're not getting paid. Y'all need to stop that. You're sitting in a closing and you find some kind of way to bring up the fact that, oh, look at how much I'm not getting paid. Look at how much they're getting paid here. No, I don't get out. I don't get that. No, that's not my fee. I only get a little bit. This is the happiest day of this couple's life or this individual's life. And you're sitting here whining about what you're not getting paid and got them all riled up and trying to get them riled up over what you're not getting. That's not professional. I'm sorry. And there's people who I'm cool with and I admire and I adore, but y'all need to stop that. Y'all need to stop that. The only time I even talk about pay is when people talk to me about being a part of the business. And what I share with them is this. There's nothing wrong with this business. The thing you have to keep in mind is that depending on that company's policies, you could get paid between 15 and 90 days from the date of the signing. Because most of the stuff is net 30. Like we pay our bills net 30. And everybody, oh yeah, I understand that. But I never talk like, yeah, they're getting paid $400 and I'm only getting paid 85. I don't even know. I don't discuss that. I don't even bring that issue up because to me it's a non-issue. That's something they worked out because guess what? They didn't have to pick me. They did not have to pick me to be on this closing. And then when they do pick me, I'm going to sit here and whine and complain about the opportunity that I was afforded. If you don't like the opportunity that you was afforded, then don't do this industry. Go do something else. And I'm not trying to put people down, but I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm dating you, but man, I wish you was light skinned. I wish you was dark skinned. I wish you was tall. I wish you was short. I wish you had more muscle. Okay. Well, you knew I didn't have any of what you just described before we decided to be dating, but now you want to sit here and use that against me. Now you want to sit here and talk about me in front of my family, in front of your friends, in front of the people. Talk about what I'm not in your life. Mm, mm. That's the one thing I said I would never do. I've never done that about my wife. I never, even to my sons, I have never talked about what my wife isn't. I'm gonna say this: if all you're doing in this notary business is talking about what something isn't. I personally feel sorry for the loved ones in your life because you don't know how to be appreciative. Yeah, I'm giving you some church today. You really don't know how to be appreciative. And sometimes when you can show appreciation for things, opportunities can open up. All of a sudden, the Father can touch somebody's heart. Why would He want to touch somebody's heart on your behalf when you show no appreciation? And you thinking that, oh yeah, no. Sometimes people just feel forced. Sometimes they feel sorry for you. Sometimes they do it just to shut you up. But you're spending all your time every closing looking for an opportunity to tell this stranger who you're just meeting for the first time how much you're disgusted with the fact that they're making this amount of money and I'm only getting paid a little. And you stop your W 2, you stop going to your W 2 just to get into a business to sit up here and whine and complain. You whine and complain at your W 2, so you became a notary, and you whine and complaining about this. And then you want to be a teacher, mentor, or coach to somebody. And all they're going to do is just take on the seeds that you're planting in them, which is whining and complaining. The percent, I guarantee you, probably over 70% of the training courses out there and mentors and stuff, they end up whining more about the business than actually talking positive about the business. And anything positive they're talking about is actually centered around them trying to force people to pay them a fee that they really shouldn't be getting paid. I had no idea I was going to even be going down this road. All of this affects you making $85,000 because your heart's not right. Whether you got a spiritual belief system or not, your evil heart is an evil heart. Whether you believe in a higher being or not, it don't matter. You have no appreciation within you. You're only appreciative when it's completely in your favor. If it's not completely in your favor, to whatever made up degree you think it's supposed to be, you are not appreciative of what you get. You're not. I did an order this morning. I don't know how it's going to turn out. Um, I did an order this morning. Let me take a quick look. I don't even know how much I got paid for it. What was the order I did this morning? Look, yeah, that was his last name. $90. $90. I go to the bank. I forget which bank. I went to the bank to meet the gentleman. And this guy was sitting over here, employee at the bank. He kept looking at me, kept looking at me, kept looking at me. I thought he was looking at me because he was worried that I was looking at the person who he was working with, their bank account information because it was on the screen. I would just make sure, nope, I'm not looking at it. So once he finished that person, he came over to me and started talking. It was like, hey, how do you do this? And I was like, what, loan closing? Well, no, I'm sorry. He said, you're a notary, right? I said, yeah. How do you do this? And I was like, do what? Be a notary? I mean, do a loan closing? No, be a notary. Oh, you need help? He said, yeah, I just got my notary and I'm not really sure about what to do. I was like, oh, no problem. No problem. I said, look, I didn't have my cards on me. I don't know why I didn't have my business cards on me. But I said, let me send you my digital card. I said, here, put your number in there. I'll text it to you. And when you need help, you just call me. That made my whole day. To sit there with this gentleman, a person who I have no connection with. I don't know this man. I know his first name. That's it. He saw something in me that made him say, you know what, I need to find out how to do with this here. What up, man? He and I was like, I got you. I got you, man. It wasn't about, hey, go take my $40 notary certificate course or go. No, it was something told me. I said, I just need to let him know. And being in that business environment, that wasn't a place to sell anything. It was a place to make a connection to let him know I got you. Who knows? It might need me to train all their notaries in the office. I don't know. But I'm gonna help this gentleman out. I'm gonna do a follow-up with him. And there's some information that I told him I'm gonna send, and I'm gonna send that to him first thing in the morning. And for us getting a notary journal and all of that, all because I took an order that took me to a bank that this man worked at, and he saw something in me that gave him the confidence to say, you know what, I can ask him. Now, he might have just asked anybody that would have been a notary, but the question is, what would you have said? Well, the question is, would you have been there for $90? For a lot of you, the answer is no. You wouldn't have done it for $90. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, $90. And the gentleman was 30 minutes late because he had some hard time sleeping the night before and didn't get to sleep till about 5 o'clock in the morning. So he overslept. And I just sat there, cool, calm, and collected, told the signing company. They said thank you. When he got there, I said he's here. They said thank you. Got it signed and done, scanned it, and they said everything looked good. Please ship. I said, no problem, got you covered. And in the interim, I met this wonderful young man. That's what this is about for me. But if you're just in this just to make some quick money, I get it. I get it. Make your quick money. Just don't tear anybody else's life while you're doing it. Stop making up stuff. Stop lying. Stop giving your fake best practices because you're probably not even doing the stuff right. So I had a great day today. I'm serious. I'm serious. And you just never know what may happen. I implore you to take whatever business you're doing serious. Be mindful of the people out here running their mouth. And a lot of the people who are saying this, that, and the other about the business, I like them. I respect them. I understand what they're doing, but I think there's a better way of doing it. This isn't the time to come with a sledgehammer. Most times, the sledgehammer comes after you've sat there and offered the olive branch. And there has not been an olive branch offered to the entities that are in play. It's just been, we're coming with the sledgehammer and we're going to make you do what we want. All because of what we see on the daggone closing disclosure. And we don't care why you're getting $700. We want half. That is no way to approach $1 billion company. To say, just give us this money and we'll be happy. You better do every daggone notarization correct. You better go back and fix whatever you messed up. You better be ready to do whatever the heck I say. If you want me to give you $350 for every single closing, you better not even form your lips like you're going to tell me no. You better not even have in the back, forward, or sides of your mind the mere thought of ever telling me no to whatever I request of you. If I'm paying you $350, you're going to work and earn all $350. You will print, you will scan, you will do all the stuff that for that $350. If not, my little man here going to get you. Hey, Chad, oh, no problem, no problem. Please make sure you go back and look at this from the beginning. Best practices equal made up practices. That is correct. That is correct. That is correct. So I don't know what else to say. I really, really don't. But if you have it already in your heart and in your mind that $85 is not good enough for you, you have every right to do so. Just make sure that whatever dollar amount you work for, you do the job correctly. You do it the way it's supposed to be done in accordance with your state guidelines. I'm serious. That's what you have to do. You have to do that. That's what we're required to do. We're not required to go out here and do stuff wrong. We're required to do it correctly. Hence why I do the training. Hence why I do the have the conversation with people and provide that for them so that they can find out how to do their job. All right, y'all. Let me get out of here. 10:35. I got a closing tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning, and then first thing in the morning, I gotta hit these people up. To okay, I see that the people book. All right, cool. The one-on-one, gotcha. All right. So, yeah, I got a closing tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning. I'm excited about that one because when I called, the young lady was just so elated that this was actually coming to a conclusion. I don't know what was going on, but she was just so giddy. And I was like, I'm glad that I took this order so that because I know I'm gonna do it right for her. I am so glad I took the order because she was just so happy. She was like, I didn't know if this phone call was to confirm the order or to set the time. I was hoping it was to confirm. I said, yes, ma'am, I'm calling to confirm. I can tell she's younger than me. She's like, oh, thank you very much. I said, no, ma'am. I said, thank you. We're gonna get you all taken care of first thing tomorrow morning at 9:30. She's like, great, great. Is that time good for you? I said, it's perfect, ma'am. It's not a problem. I will be there and get you all taken care of. She was so happy, and I was so glad that I was the notary assigned. But there's only a few notaries in our area that I feel that trustworthy enough to take care of people. The vast majority of them, they're not doing good work at all. All right. Yeah, thank you, Dorinda. Thank you very much. Um, you said everything that needs to be said. Yeah, yeah. See, when you get your head right and your heart right, you don't have to be told, hey, notaries doing this will make you money. Notaries doing that will make you money. You'll figure that out. You can see I'm sorry, I know I'm supposed to be closing. You can see the pathway forward when you know how to do your job, when you know what it's really all about, when you have the right intent, when you have compassion, when you're not angry at everybody for what they got and what you don't have. That Oh my goodness, that's another problem in this bit. I know I was supposed to stop. I know. There are people who are angry over what somebody else has because they haven't gotten there yet. And that's why so many people, when they come in, they want to get to the mountaintop faster. They want to be right up there because they want to be looked upon. They want to be gazed upon. They want to be worshiped. I'm just going to tell you straight up. Some of these folk, they want that worship and they're narcissistic. They want somebody to adore them for what they've done because they've never done anything like this a day in their life in their regular job. So now, yes, I get to be a notary. I get to have that notary stamp. Aha. Matter of fact, I got to. I am it. And you are going to appreciate me. A lot of people, men and women in this business, you're looking for appreciation because that's why you're so adamant that you get graded. That's why you're so adamant that somebody sits there and tell you you did good. That's why you want to call people and say, hey, did everything go well with that closing? You have a lot of self doubt and a lot of lack of self belief in yourself. And you constantly need to be fed how great you are. You're doing a great job. I don't need to hear that. All I need to see is the paycheck. When I see the check, that means when I get the order, that means I'm doing good. Every order that I get means I'm doing good. Because if I'm getting orders, that means you at least you do appreciate and I've been doing it right. See, when you don't really know how to do your job, when you're not comfortable in doing your job, you're constantly trying to get feedback to see if you done messed something up. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm serious. When you are confident in what you're doing, you ain't got to ask anybody for accolades. You ain't got to ask anybody to give you a pulse check. That's why I hate doing daggone annual reviews because I knew I was doing my job right. I hated smart goals. I got one goal: make money. What? Do you? Ain't got time for all that. That's a waste of my time. That's a waste of my life. That's just another thing that you put in there to try to restrict me, to give you just cause not to give me what I deserve. Because if I'm doing what my job says, you gave me the task, I did it, and I did it better than anybody else. Give me my 3% pay raise. Well, you didn't hit these other metrics. Those other metrics had nothing to do with what I needed to do to get the job done for you. True, but we just need a way of measuring you. You need a way to try to find a reason not to pay me. That's what it is. And I got you. As Dave Chappelle would say, gotcha. And people, and they didn't like me. And that's why I had to get out of the work environment because I got to the point where I just was flat out refusing to do any smart goals. I was just making up stuff. I was just like, my goal is to click the red button 3 times instead of 2 times like I did last year. I was like, this is just stupid. What do you need me to do? We need you to do this. Did I do it? Yes, you did. Did I do it better than everybody else? Yes. Okay, give me my money. AKA, like she said, moving the goalposts. That's right, moving the goalposts. The reason why I like this business is because there is no moving of the goalposts because the state that we are commissioning already set the goal and the post, which is proper notarization. Explaining documents is not what my state set. Helping somebody understand all the intricacies of page 2 and 3 of the CD is not the goal per my state. It's not. That's your made up thing. That's what you want, which is your job. You think about it, a lot of stuff that these people tell us to do in this business is somebody else's job. If you really think about it, they're spending more time telling us and teaching us how to do somebody else's job than how to do our job. As my friends in the Filipinos will do, point to their nose and say, do your job. I got to do my job. You're not teaching me how to do my job. And I'm like, yeah. And that's part of my success is because I learned how to do my job. What is wrong with just doing your job? Why is it so important that I be the go-to person with regards to doing somebody else's job, but none of the people whose job I'm doing can do my job? I'm still required to do my job, even though I haven't been properly educated on how to do my job. I'm still required to do it and do it right. But yet, those same people who won't do my job and who's not doing their job are the same people who are going to tell me I did my job wrong. You didn't stamp. You didn't have them sign. You didn't have them date. You didn't have them initial. That 5 don't look like a 5. That 2 don't look like a 2. And they're giving me 85 pages of instructions. But nobody can do my job but me. But yet I got to do everybody's job but them. Come on. Y'all see it. And that's, y'all see it. Y'all see it. All right, y'all. Let me get out of here for real, and go downstairs, make sure the dishes are washed. And I know my wife is asleep, kids asleep, so sons asleep. They're not kids anymore. And I will print the documents, get them prepped, and there's a few other little things I need to do tonight. And other than that, we good. We good. We good. So it says, thank you. I know. Says if I also have to do someone else's job, I also better get someone else. Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. And that's the thing. That's the only time I agree with saying, okay, give me $300 for doing a closing. I know, man. I gotta get you, man. Y'all ain't even got no I ain't got no Dunkin' Donuts up there. If you when you get around a Dunkin' Donut, the moment you get around a Dunkin' Donut, you let me know, and I'll make sure you got your fritter money. I promise. But I don't even think y'all got Dunkin' Donuts up there. And if they do, I know you ain't going to the hood to go to them because most Dunkin' Donuts is in the hood. At least the ones around here are. I ain't gonna lie, they're when I think about it, hood or semi-hood. The ones around my neighborhood, we're not too hoodish, but other places they hood. But that's the thing. That's the thing. That's when I agree with give me $400 because you want me to do your job. Still not legal as a notary for me to do it, but I guess if I'm going to do it, I might as well get paid. So this would be my last order because I get caught by the state and then I actually know they pull my commission. And now you can keep your 400. Just give me my 85 and I'll be good. If 85 will keep me out of trouble, give me $85. I'm good. I'll take 85 all day, every day if it'll keep me out of jail. All right, party people. Y'all have a good one. Thank you for your time. Enjoyed it. I'm not even gonna say I didn't plan on staying on this long. I was just gonna be on as long as it needed to be. So I really appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. If you need help, the information is in the description. I'll update it to make sure that people see the two different, help options I have there. And if you do decide to do the notary certificate training, you only need to take one session. And I have that in there, just one session, not both of them. All right. Y'all have a good one. Talk to y'all later. Peace.